Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all doing well. So a bit of a different video this week. So some of you who may have watched last week's video will know that I went to M&S last week to do 7 meals for about 500 calories per meal. And of course, you will know if you watched the video how much that cost. Now this week I've been to Tesco and the plan is to replicate the 7 meals for about 500 calories per portion or per person. And if you want to find out how much it cost us and how much money we saved, then please stay tuned and find out what it's all about. So, yep, as you know, we've been to Tesco's this week. We have had a bit of a change just regards to my annual leave coming up and other things. And so we thought last week was really convenient by using the M&S meals, and it saved us a lot of time, effort, and actually some money as well in the grand scheme of things. However, because a few of you at home had commented on my last video from M&S sort of range that we did last week, we thought we would do a Tesco's one as that's what you have asked for. So I hope this will be helpful. I hope you will enjoy it. And we have got a little bit of a different range of products to show you today as well, some different ideas. And again, we're going to stick to the sort of 500 calories approximately per person or per portion of the meals. And again, I've got all my sums worked out here on the receipt, so I'll be able to go through it all with you. What I will also do is go through the pros and cons of using M&S and using Tesco, which is probably surprising to some of you, but I must admit, I think it's really important to share. So before I get into that, as I said, I do have all of my sums worked out here, but I will just ask if you are enjoying my videos and you're not already a subscriber, if you have been viewing my videos for quite a while now and you like watching the content, then please do like, share and subscribe. It really would mean the world to me. If you are just viewing my channel for the first time, then I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much and welcome you to the channel and encourage you all, as always, to always leave a comment in the box section below. I'll always try my very best to get back to you as best as possible, and I will give you my honest opinion or feedback or advice where I can. Now, before I also move on to the main part, I want to just take this opportunity to thank my members. So all of my members are fantastic. They're all on their own journeys on their own for various reasons, and I must take my hat off to you and thank you all so much for sticking along for so long and for continuing to give me support on my weight loss journey. So for some of you at home, you may not already know, but I have lost 6 stone in weight since last May, and I was close to 22 stone at that point, and now I'm obviously not, but I still have a few stone left to go, and this is my new way of trying to lose the weight, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying calorie counting, I'm enjoying the freedom that it gives me, but I'm also being able to moderate and manage my day-to-day a little bit better by using these meals, but also really looking forward to what we're having on an evening for dinner. The majority of my weight was lost using the Slim World plan. However, in May of this year, I did decide that I didn't want to continue with that. And that is why I have tried calorie counting ever since. And there has been some ups and downs. We have had the new kitchen done, and that did put us off for a couple of weeks. I was aiming to calorie count as best as I possibly could, but in the run up to the finalisation of the kitchen being installed, we had no facilities at home at all to cook. And so we did go out for dinner and we did eat things that weren't necessarily the best for us. And I will be honest with you and say that in total, I gained about half a stone over that couple of periods of time, couple of weeks periods of time. However, I am on the downwards and I have lost all of that weight in the last week just by getting right back on track and being really honest with myself. And of course, last week's M&S meals were absolutely fantastic for dinner to focus my mind and to, of course, allow me to have everything I love but in moderation. So it's just to say that if you are on a weight loss journey and you are a little bit up and down at the moment, it happens to all of us. But the main thing you can do is focus your mind and get right back on it again. And that's what I've done. So I'm very much here to encourage you all to do that. And if you're struggling or you need some advice, please do, as always, keep in touch with me and ask. You can only ask for help. And hopefully in return, you will receive some lovely advice that may be helpful to you or someone else. So moving on to the food. What I will say is that one of the main sort of pros, if you like, so far would be that there were maybe slightly more options available regards the use of chicken in the dish. But we hopefully we'll run through the items with you and I'll tell you all about the pros and cons at the end. But what I will say is that what we do have so far doesn't include any fish products, and I suppose that was a little bit disappointing. But what we have got is stuff that we like and we're really excited to try, and hopefully it will be really interesting for you to see as well. So let's get on to the main part of the video, which is to talk about the food. So first of all, what I will say is that any sort of calorie amount, so for example, the portion is X amount of calories, then that is for half of the food that you see that I'm showing you. So myself and my husband will be sharing it. And obviously, if you're not sharing it or if you're having more, then of course you need to count your calories accordingly, and track that appropriately as well, if that's something that you're aiming to do in the form of moderating how much food you're having, and of course monitoring it for weight loss reasons or weight sort of gain reasons as well, or weight maintenance. It's completely up to you. And of course, if you do any of the recipes, or you're quite interested in anything that I've bought or purchased, please let me know that you've tried them at home, if you've had it. And again, please give me your feedback on the video as always. I would really appreciate it. So with regards to the first item, it's a mini roast chicken dinner. So it's chicken wrapped in bacon with chipolata sausages and chicken gravy. So for half of the pack, it's 321 calories, and it is freezable as well. We're also going to have some cauliflower cheese with that, and that is freezable as well. And for half of the pack, it's 134 calories. And this is topped with a extra mature cheddar, which I think will be lovely. I hope will be lovely. And what we're also going to do is have a little bag of steamed veg from Bird's Eye, which we just keep in the freezer, and they're about 64 calories as well. Now, all in all, for the mini roast, the cauliflower cheese, and of course a little bag of steamed veg, that works out at 519 calories. Now, I know that we say 500 calories, but if we didn't add in the extra vegetables, it to me wouldn't feel that balanced a meal. But also it gives us extra nutrients and minerals that we wouldn't have otherwise. And again, it's vegetables that we're filling our plate up with, which again, we should be doing more of. And so if it is slightly over 500, then I am not going to be too worried about that. And I don't think any of you at home should be either. But it is just a guide. So what I'll do is I'll move that out of the way for now. What we've also got is a Hunter's chicken breast tray as well, which comes with a barbecue sauce. So that's what it looks like. And it's quite a lot of cheese in there actually, and the bacon looks pretty good. So I'll just show you the packaging with the sort of sleeve on it. So again, it's chicken wrapped in bacon with cheddar cheese and served with a barbecue sauce. I think the barbecue sauce, I've had this one in the past, and it is really tasty, but I must admit, sometimes the chicken breast can be a little bit on the small side, hence the sort of reasonable, sort of number of calories for half of the portion. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying it. On this side, we are aiming to have some creamed spinach, and this is the Tesco Finest one. Now, we had creamed spinach from M&S last week, as you will have seen if you've watched the video, and we absolutely loved it. It's not something I've ever bought before, but I have had in restaurants and I've really enjoyed it at the time. But when we had it last week, I must admit I thoroughly enjoyed it, so much so that I had to buy more of it this week. So I've obviously not tried the Tesco one, but I'm sure it will be just as delicious as the M&S one that we tried last week. And this is sautéed spinach with an indulgent extra mature cheddar cheese on a bed of fresh baby spinach, finished with a hint of nutmeg and garlic. And it's vegetarian and it's 84 calories. So this is what you're looking out for. 84 calories for half of the pack. And again, you can cook it in your microwave or you can pop it in the oven if that seems convenient for you. Now, I will be moving on to the other side that we're going to be having with this meal in a minute, but we are going to have some baby Ayrshire potatoes on the side. And it's about 175 grams of potatoes as a portion, and that's what it says on the packaging. So that's what we're going to go by as a portion for us. So of course we'll have 175 grams of potatoes each, And that meal there with the chicken, the spinach and the potatoes works out at 483 calories, which I think is pretty good. So I'll pop that to the side. Now, as I've just mentioned, we will speak about the potatoes because we are going to be using them for another dish as well as a side. So we have cheese, leek and bacon chicken breasts with oak smoked lardons and a rich creamy cheese sauce. This is suitable for freezing, and for half of the pack it's 267 calories. Now you might be seeing a little bit of a theme here, and the theme so far is that we've got 3 chicken dishes in a row so far. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Just move that sleeve back in. And what I did last week with these meals in the sort of foil trays, it just popped it in the air fryer. They cook slightly quicker and there's a lot less mess, personally for me. And yeah, it just was much easier to just do it all together, and it saved me having to put the oven on. So we've got that. On the side, we're going to be having some mini garlic stuffed mushrooms. So for 3, which is half of the pack, it's 66 calories. And again, what I will say is the mushrooms we got from M&S were very similar to this. They were one of the best things I have ever tried. Honestly, they were so good. So I've got really, I really want this to work out just as well. I really want them to taste just as good, but I've got sort of high expectations. So I'll pop these down, and again, 66 calories for half of a pack with cheese, garlic, etc. You can't go wrong with that, can you? So I'll put this down. Now on the side of that, we're also going to have some extra fine beans. So that's what they look like. And we're going to have half of the pack. So half of the pack is 100 grams and it's 31 calories for half of the pack. Obviously you could have less, you could eke it out over more meals, but for us, we really want to sort of bulk our meal up with as much vegetables as we can. And as previously mentioned, we've also got the Ayrshire, there's actually Scotty brand, Ayrshire potatoes, little baby potatoes, and again we'll have 175 grams each for our portion. And all in all, so the chicken, the mushrooms, the fine beans and the potatoes come to a grand total of 479 calories for the full meal, which I think will be a really big plate of food, which I'm really looking forward to. If you don't know me already, I like big portions. I like to feel full, but I also like to have lots of variation and try to have different things really. So again, really looking forward to this. So I'll just move this aside. There we go. Sorry guys. There we go. And so we've got two meals still to discuss before I get into the prices and the pros and the cons. So again, we have another chicken dish. This one is Tikka chicken breasts, and it's Tikka chicken masala garnished with red pepper and parsley sprinkle. So I must admit, it does look really nice. I think it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. And for half of the pack, it is 211 calories. And I'll just show you, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see very clearly, but I'll try to show you anyway. But the chicken breasts look pretty nice with the sort of like drizzle marinade on them. So yeah, looking forward to that. And it does say it's mild, so it's not a super hot, spicy thing, or it shouldn't be. I don't mind spice, but again, if any of you at home are not too keen on sort of spicy food, or you're a bit concerned it'd be too hot, it does say mild on the packaging, so I would think that would be the case. Often these things are less spicy than what they say on the packaging, in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully that will work out okay if any of you at home try it. And on the side to that, we're going to have some basmati rice. So we're just going to half the pack. And again, you can cook this in the microwave. And for half of a pack, it's 168 calories. So there was quite a big difference in calories between the basmati and the pilau rice. So it is just to be mindful of that. But I think there was about 40 calories difference. And yeah, I mean, it's quite a lot when you think about it when it is just still rice. But again, with the basmati, if you did want to add some flavourings to it, some seasonings, some spices, some salt and pepper, or whatever it is that you want to do. Obviously, you're not adding calories to it with doing that. Whereas the sort of seasonings and the flavourings that they add in at production can often have like oils and things in them as well, so which is probably equating to the extra calories for the pilau rice. So just to be mindful of that. And on the side, because we're not going to have, like a samosa or sort of like onion bhajis and things, because they are high in calories and obviously they're usually fried. I think an onion bhaji from Tesco was about 115 calories for one. Now, there's been times James and I have had like 4 of them each. So there you go, there's at least 450 calories. There you go, easy. And then we've also had some stuff on the side, like a little mini naan bread, which again is about 130 calories. So it's easy to see how your calories can really, really ramp up when you have something like a Chinese or an Indian or a Thai meal. However, what we've chosen is the best option for us, and I'm hoping you will agree with me at home as well, is that these are the Walker's Sensations poppadoms. And these are the mango chutney flavour. It's actually mango and red chilli chutney flavour. And with regards to these, are very light, but you get quite a lot for your buck, if you like. So for each 30-gram serving, it's 147 calories, but we're going to be having half of that. So we'll just be having the 15 grams. So yeah, obviously, depending upon your calories for the day, you could have the full 30 grams amount. But for us, we like to try to manage our dinner so that we can still have some snacks at night if we wanted to. And it means that we're not sort of eating all of our calories at dinner time, because sometimes you get to night and then it's like, oh, I really want to have a snack. And then that's when you can start to sort of pick up bad habits again by overeating snacks or using all your calories up when you don't really need to use them all up at dinner time. I get that sometimes you come in from work and you're hungry, you just want to eat. And sometimes you can eat and eat because your brain's not listening to your gut and you don't realise you're full. So that's another reason that we got these as well, is that they're very light. And I think just that with some of the sauce and some rice will be more than enough. So looking forward to that. So all in all, for the tikka chicken, half a portion of rice and some poppadoms, as I said, 15 grams, it's 453 calories, which I think is pretty good for a little bit of Indian food at night time. Now, obviously, again, as I said, if you wanted to add anything more to it or change things up, then of course that's completely up to you as well. Another sort of good calorie sort of swap or add-in would be the gunpowder potatoes or the tarka dal as well. They're quite low in calories, but again, it's nice if you're sharing it between a couple of people. You might be able just to have a small amount of it if you're sharing maybe between 2 or 3 people, maybe 4. And it does just add a little bit of extra flavour onto your plate. So we'll pop this down. And last but not least, I'm just going to move this over. We have the slow-cooked sweet barbecue pulled pork. Now, this is freezable and it's got a really good use-by date on it, which is the 24th of September, which is the day before my birthday. So it feels like it's quite a long time away. But for half of the pack, it's 319 calories. So this is what it looks like. So it's slow-cooked seasoned pork shoulder with a sachet of sweet barbecue glaze. And it does say you can cook it in the oven at 180 fan for 30 minutes. And then at the end, you add all the sauce and things in and leave it for another 5 minutes. So really excited to try this. It's not something we've had before, but what we tried to do is make up a bit of a meal that feels a little bit more of a treat, if that makes sense. Now, it's not to say that any of this isn't a treat. Of course it is. It's delicious food. It's really nutritious. There's good balance. And again, it's all within my calorie allowance that I want to stick to. But what we'll do is we'll pop this down just now. And I did say that we were going to have some sides with our food. So we are going to have some salad. So we've got a bag of shredded lettuce each, just because we'll maybe do a plate of salad and then put the pork on top. So I'm not technically really going to count the calories for this, but it does say for 100 grams is 19 calories. So you're talking probably 22 calories a bag if you really wanted to be strict. And we also have a sweet mixed baby potato medley. So again, I've not scanned these in regards to calories, but again, it's not going to be very much in the form of some chopped tomatoes. But what I will say is I've also got a little treat on the side, which is a treat for me, and I'll just grab it from the cupboard. And that is mini white tortilla wraps. So these are going to be used so we can fill these up with our pulled pork and of course some of our salad. And I don't really think we'll probably need like a sauce or anything like that. So again, we're going to cut the calories from that because we'll have like a sticky glaze over the pork. So I don't think we'll need anything over and above that. Obviously, if you guys at home wanted to add stuff in, then that's absolutely fine. But one tortilla is 88 calories and we're going to have 2 tortillas each. So it's quite a lot, you know, you get 8 in a pack. So we're going to use half of a pack up, sort of like in one meal. So it's not too bad at all. Now, all in all, for the pulled pork, 2 of the mini tortillas, as we said, and of course some salad, which will be negligible in the form of calories, it's 495 calories all in. So again, under the 500 calorie mark, I think a bit of a treat, probably quite filling, and I'm certainly really looking forward to it. But as I said, I'll talk through the pricing with you and also the pros and the cons. So what I will say is that it cost us £31.80 for all of this food. So that's 7 nights of dinner. We also have, so it ends up being £2.27 per person per meal. And it does work out £25.75 cheaper than M&S last week for the same amount of food. However, of course, as I said, there are pros and cons. So with regards to the pros and cons, what I would say is that I did make a comment earlier saying, I'm not sure if you've noticed the theme yet. The theme is that everything apart from one dish is chicken. Everything but one dish is chicken. There were no fish choices. There were no seafood choices. We didn't see any sort of like meatballs. We didn't see any sort of like gammon choices or pork choices that we would have chosen, similar to what we had last week from M&S in the form of the pork saltimbocca. And I must admit, we took forever in that shop. Now, it is a huge Tesco's. It's one of the really large sort of like superstores. It has everything in it. It has 2 floors. It's huge. And we went up and down because the dates were not good at all. So the dates that we have here are the best dates possible that we could have got from the shop. So it genuinely meant taking everything out and putting it all back in again just to check to see if the dates were any good. The majority of the dates were due within the next 2 to 3 days, which is just not good. A lot of the stuff was actually due to go out tomorrow, so the use by or sell by dates tomorrow. And I must admit that was a bit disappointing for us because with regards to M&S dates, we bought all that food and we still have some of it that we can use, or we would have been able to use should we have rescheduled what we'd eaten on whichever day. Now, obviously, as I said, there was a £25.75 sort of change in how much we had spent compared to last week, and of course that's fantastic. But again, it sort of takes away from the fact that we can just go and do all of our shopping and then not have to worry about the dates or not have to worry about what do we need to eat first. Whereas we did have to really plan all of this out to make and to meet our needs for the rest of the week in the form of how soon we need to eat it. So of course that's a con. And I must admit, obviously the range regards how many different types of meats and things you can have. It's quite poor. There were lots of other chicken dishes that we could have picked up, I must admit. Some of them were a little bit higher in calories, of course. Some of them just weren't really our thing. But yeah, that is a bit disappointing. However, the majority of the dishes we've got here were on offer. And so in the foil dishes, it was 2 for £7. And the slow cooked pulled pork was a Tesco club card deal. Now, I'm not going to go through the price of everything, but that was £3.50 on Tesco club card. Similar ones were £5.50 and it was the same thing but a slightly different sauce, which just was mad. You know, one was teriyaki and one was barbecue. That's the difference. And it, like I said, it was an extra £2 in price. Some of them are actually even more expensive, which I just thought was ridiculous. So obviously that's what we've got here just now. Salad wise, I think the salad was probably one of the easiest things to find with a little bit of a longer date on it, and that was the 8th of August. So it is currently the 4th of August at the moment, and yeah, I must admit that's probably one of the easiest things that we found within the whole shop. Now I did buy some other things in here today, which obviously I won't go into because we are talking about dinners. And it was really just some household stuff, you know, like bleach, toilet rolls, dishwasher tablets, etc., etc. So yeah, obviously, as I said, I'll just run through all the details again. So it's £31.80, £25.75 cheaper than M&S, and £2.27 per person per meal. However, what we have to be mindful of is that we spent a lot more time. We've had to spend a lot more time planning. So we had to spend time in Tesco's, walking up and down, taking everything out, really looking at what we had. And the only good thing about it was that we could actually just scan and shop. So we did do the scan and shop option today just to save us a little bit of time. And I'm so glad that it did because we were on a bit of a schedule. Some of the sides that we've got here are just as similar to the M&S ones, which is really good, but I wouldn't say they're any cheaper. I would say they're about the same price, if not the same. And so we're not really made a saving on that for that perspective. But again, from the M&S meals last week, what I would say the cons are is obviously the price is slightly higher, but we did thoroughly enjoy the variety of the food that we had. So as I said, we had fish. We did have fish cakes as well, but we had sea bass. So the sort of higher level of quality of the different meats that you can have is there, plus the variety as well, which we really did like. Now, the Tesco's that we went to was on our way home from being out and about today. And so the Tesco's closest to home may have slightly different options. But if you do go to Tesco's, please let me know if you come across anything that you think I would like, or if there's anything that you might have that we might not have, then please do let me know. Now, what I will just say before I finish the video is, yes, I have had a haircut. I was at the hairdresser's yesterday and I've had my hair all chopped. So yeah, it's just a bit of a change for me. The last time I got my hair done, I regretted it instantly when I came home that I didn't get it a little bit shorter. And this was the little bit shorter that I wanted to achieve last time round. So I hope you guys like it. And I have no more roots anymore. It's all been done. My half head of highlights and cut and blow dry was lovely. And I'm not sure if you can see behind me right now, but we have new blinds in the kitchen. So very fancy. They're lovely. I really, really like them. I've always wanted a sort of shutter style. We got these 3 blinds to go. So yeah, really just so happy with them. Of course, if you watch the channel, you'll know, as I said, we have a new kitchen. It's taken us a long time to get to this point, but we are just waiting on considering some of the quotes that we've had for plastering. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes in the ceiling at the moment, plus some little bits and bobs round about the walls where we've had cupboards taken off that the new cupboards don't kind of fit back into again. So we'll need them all done, and we also need it all painted. So ceiling and obviously the wall over here, over this way, and the ceiling as well. And so painting and decorating is not cheap, and so that's why we have to make sure we're considering who we're going to go with. And again, we just need a little bit of time to get it all sorted. But I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the videos now that we've got slightly different perspectives that we can film from. That was a really big thing for me with regards to using the kitchen as our YouTube studio, is that we can film with different aspects, different, you know, sort of setups. We've got much more space. And again, we've got a really cool sink where we can actually use the chopping board, which is on runners, from onto the chopping board and then across the sink. And it means we've got much more prep space as well for when I'm doing videos, if I'm doing any cooking videos as well. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you've loved the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do let me know if there's anything you'd like to know in the comments. And regards pricing, I've got the receipt, so I'll hold on to that in case anyone has any questions. But as always, please do take care. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.